On the surface, Candace Craig seemed like anyone else. A mother, a daughter, just another face in a Maryland neighborhood. But behind closed doors, things were unraveling. Her mother, Margaret Craig, was growing increasingly uneasy about her daughter's behavior, especially her questionable financial habits. And as it turns out, Margaret's suspicions were well-founded. In June 2023, police were called to the home of 71-year-old Margaret Craig for a welfare check. Margaret lived with her daughter Candace Craig, 46, and her granddaughter Celia Hardy, 21. Margaret's sudden silence was concerning. Family members grew worried, especially her nephew David Wilson, who normally kept in touch with her through Facebook. He hadn't heard from her in a while, and a haunting dream convinced him that something was terribly wrong. Meanwhile, Margaret's cousin, Jillian Filbert, decided to stop by the house herself. She went straight to the basement, thinking maybe Margaret had taken another fall down the stairs, as she had recently. But as she descended, an overwhelming stench hit her, and the sight of trash bags scattered around filled her with dread. Glancing up, she saw Candace and Celia watching her closely from the shadows. It sent chills down her spine. She quickly left and dialed 911. When police arrived, Candace reluctantly opened the door, granting them access to search the house. Inside, the officers were hit by the same powerful smell of decomposition and soon noticed blood near several plastic bags. Peering into one open bag, they found a horrifying sight: brain matter, dismembered remains, and a chainsaw nearby with chunks of flesh still on it. What could have led to such a horrific scene? In May of 2023, tensions between Candace and her mother boiled over. Margaret had discovered strange charges on her credit card, and after investigating, she realized her own daughter was behind them. Margaret, needing to protect herself, even went as far as creating a new bank account for her pension and Social Security checks. But Candace found a way around this too, calling the bank and pretending to be her mother. Desperate, Margaret requested that a bank send any new card to a different address, away from Candace's reach. But yet again, Candace still found a way to access her accounts. This was the final straw, and she confronted Candace, telling her she would contact the police. This confrontation sent Candace into a deadly rage. She suffocated her mother with a trash bag. What happened next took the horror to another level. The next morning, Celia discovered her grandmother's body, hidden in a blue bin with a trash bag over her head. She testified to hearing her grandmother scream the night before but hadn't realized what was happening. When she confronted her mother, Candace allegedly replied with a gruesome plan to dispose of the body by burning it, using acid, or chopping it up. Together they went to Home Depot and bought grilling supplies, including a gas can. Celia testified chillingly, "Mom showed me Grandma's skull and said, 'This is the hard part right here.'" She added, "Mom told me she grilled Grandma's rib cage. She had it in the dining room." Candace and Celia set fire to Margaret's remains in the backyard, seasoning them in an attempt to mask the smell. But the plan backfired, as neighbors noticed both the fire and the strange smell.
I thought something was kind of suspicious because Memorial Day, they had their grill further down from the house. From the house. Usually have their barbecues close to the house. That kind of got suspicious. I didn't see nobody at the grill, nobody bringing anything out to the grill, so I didn't pay much more attention to it.
They even had like a little table with one of the umbrellas. They had that out there. They had the grill, and then they had, the charcoal.
The next day, they moved Margaret's remains back inside, letting them cool off before dismembering the body. As the investigation began, Candace tried to shift the blame onto her two disabled children, but the evidence pointed right back to her. She was charged with first-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and improper disposal of a body. Celia, in exchange for her testimony, pleaded guilty to accessory after the fact. Over 8 days, jurors reviewed hundreds of pieces of evidence, from photographs of the crime scene to testimonies from family members and forensic experts. Disturbing testimonies revealed Candace's calculated attempts to cover her tracks and the role Celia played in the aftermath. In November, Candace Craig was found guilty on all counts. Now, as she awaits sentencing, the full horror of her actions remains etched in the minds of all who followed the case. A dark reminder of the extremes to which human desperation and betrayal can lead. Thanks for watching.